Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Phyrexia All-Will-Be-One action, and today we're playing a deck called All I Need Is One, because we're playing basically one big creature that we're hoping to play out, and that is Atraxa Grand Unifier, which is 7 mana, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, and then 3 generic, and it's a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch Lifelink Phyrexian Angel, and when it enters the battlefield, most importantly, you reveal the top 10 cards of your library, and for each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So we have a fair few different card types in this deck so that we can actually hit a bunch of different things with Atraxa. And the idea is all we're really doing is we're playing a relatively fair Atraxa deck where we're ramping up, we're playing Atraxa, and hoping to snowball that into a win. So we got a bunch of ramp. Atraxa, think of it like Titan of Industry, almost on steroids, because you get a bunch of card draw. It's a life linker and it's flying vigilance, so it's a good defender, a good attacker. It's got quite the ball of stats. So let's go hop into the games and see if we can go ahead and win. The plan is hopefully this will be able to take us to Mythic here, but we will find out. If you're looking for more All Will Be One or Phyrexia All Will Be One videos, consider subscribing because I plan to make more as we explore more of the new cards from the set. I'm planning to do another Graz deck in the near future where I try it in green. I did a Is It Graz and it wasn't that great. This hand we're going to go ahead and mulligan. And yeah, there will be a full deck tech at the end of the video. So if you're interested in that, consider sticking around. So yeah, we're full in on this ramp plan. We got the Armored Scrapgorger, we got Azusa. That's nice. Play that, and then next turn we can actually expand the sphere. So expand the sphere is a new card from Phyrexia All Will Be One. It allows us to look at the top 6 cards of our library and then put 2 lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Or if we don't pick any lands or we don't find lands, we can instead proliferate for each land that we miss. We don't actually have the mana to cast Tamiyo here, so I think we're just going to commit to the expand the sphere. Would have liked to play Tamiyo. Nice thing is also with these proliferates, since we're playing this saga here, Azusa's Many Journey, we can actually proliferate our way through the saga, which is very handy. Our opponent here got lucky that we weren't able to find another land here, which is a bit concerning because it would have been really nice to have a full 6 lands. Because then if we top deck anything besides Atraxa will be able to play it. But we have this Tamiyo here, so we can play this Tamiyo, tap down their Bankbuster. Just go for the throat. Sure. Alright. I think we'll go ahead. Tamiyo, I love Tamiyo. I think people sleep on this card. This card is really nice. Tamiyo's abilities. The first one is tap target artifact or creature. It doesn't untap during its next curler's untap step. I think people forgot about this card. And then you can reoccur stuff from your graveyard by exiling a permanent from your graveyard with mana value X, so you have to lose that much loyalty to exile, but hey. And then you can create a token copy of that card, and then the last one, -7, you get Tamiyo's Notebook, which makes all of your spells 2 generic less cost to cast, and then you can tap it to draw a card. So that's what we're hoping to get here. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Armored Scrapgorger will get us the mana to playing Atraxa next turn, which should hopefully fix the fact that we are... do we want to tap down their Bankbuster or their Goblin? Goblin. We'll tap down the Bankbuster still, I think. Really don't want them drawing cards into solutions here. Bankbuster is a nutty card if you let it go. That's why we're also playing it in this deck, is we're hoping... The idea is that we can take as much damage as long as we can be able to cast Atraxa relatively fast. We should be able to play this Atraxa if they don't do that. We're only playing the colors that Atraxa is in, we're not playing a full 5-color deck. That way we don't have to play as many duels. Our opponent has a bunch of hasters on top of being able to kill our creature, so we're in a bad spot here. Eternal Wanderer is kind of nice, because what we can go ahead and do is we'll go ahead, play Eternal Wanderer. This is a new card. No more than one creature can attack it during each combat. The +1 is exile target artifact or creature, returning that card to the battlefield at the beginning of owner's end step, or my end step. Or, anyways, I can't read. We're just gonna do it so we don't waste too much time. You only keep one of your worst tokens, and then we go ahead and tap down your worst token. They flip their Fable, but they have no way of giving it haste at the moment, so hopefully our Eternal Wanderer lives. Hopefully. Kiki Jiki is a bit of a nightmare here. 3 damage to each planeswalker and creature, that's lame. Graveyard Trespasser, they get to exile our planeswalker, most likely. They might go for one of our creatures. Yeah, they do go for a creature instead, which is good because we want those planeswalkers if we can. Yeah, this is why I hate Buster. It can turn into quite the annoying attacker. Top deck a tap land. But yeah, playing just 4 colors here lets us... this puts cards into our hand, so Shieldred's less of a problem, but we're going to need to hit well with this Atraxa. Our opponent gets rid of both of our planeswalkers. Buster is so gross. Lose 2 life. Play this. And then we go ahead to find up to 4, so we'll grab this land. We'll grab, what do we want? Tamiyo or the Wanderer? Well, we'll grab this as our one creature because it's the only one we revealed. We'll grab this as the only sorcery we revealed, and now we have to pick a planeswalker. Which one is more worth it? Wanderer creates tokens. Tamiyo, though, can potentially tap down like important things. We'll go with the Wanderer, because then they have to play around it. Good, play that. Opponent can't kill us here, particularly with Atraxa still alive, and they top deck a land. Do they top deck removal? Do they top deck? They can't play an Invoke Despair with their mana, which is nice. But yeah, the lifelink on this card means if it survives, it's pretty good. It's, well, by pretty good I mean really good. Opponent attacks in with Shieldred, strangely enough. Do they top deck removal is the real question. We're going to go with you don't have removal. We can flash the Emperor in at the beginning of our turn, so that we don't take draw damage. I don't know why our opponent's holding up whatever. It's probably an Invoke. In that case, we want to also make sure to play this Contagious Vorrac, because, well, it will be another creature so that we have something to sack to it. And then they probably attacked in with Shieldred, so we lose this Planeswalker? Maybe? Because Invoke makes you sack a creature, a planeswalker, and enchantment. Maybe they have a soul. Well, no, Soul Transfer is a sorcery. Resolve. Come on. Yep. We're going to exile your Shieldred. It's something that we will be doing. Opponent, do you have a response? But yeah, I was put onto Atraxa when I was watching a Croaky's video. I know that like Atraxa Reanimator with like Portal did well in like competition or setting. I forget what it's called. Like the metagame challenge. I don't know what it's called. But it finished higher up there in terms of success in that regard. Okay, we can play this Melira, which is nice. Oh, we have to go to our main phase. Play this Melira as another creature. And the nice thing about this Melira is if they target, remove, or Atraxa, the second ability of Melira is choose another target creature or artifact. When it's put into the graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So this acts as a pseudo protection spell for if our opponent goes to remove Atraxa. Why I'm a big fan of Melira. And I heard that like during playtesting, this is just like whispers. I have no real idea if this is true, but that like the second ability of Melira was so strong that they had to nerf the anti-poison mechanic to so that it only prevents you from getting like more than one. Alright, we got multiple creatures here, so we don't have too much worries. We double spelled, so the Graveyard Trespasser flips. Oh, it's just a Fable. That's fine by me. Now, did they draw into a response to Atraxa? If they have a Soul Transfer that exiles, though they might not be playing Soul Transfer because it's double black and they're playing a two-color deck. Our opponent sees the Atraxa, sees the writing on the wall, and folds it up. Fair enough. The thing with this deck, I will warn you, is your games end up being longer. You're playing a pretty, like, end game strategy to, like, Atraxa and draw a bunch of cards, use your planeswalkers to take over the board. I also went for, like, a bit more of a different brew than, like, as I was saying, this isn't Atraxa Reanimator, we're not cheating out Atraxa, we're just simply ramping into it. I know that Crokies was playing, like, a 5-color deck where they also played Leyline Binding. Opted not to play Leyline Binding because I don't like the fact that it's an enchantment and then they can get their stuff back. I don't think it's a bad card. It's just kind of the reason I ended up choosing not to play that card. We got double ramp, double bank buster. This is an interesting hand. I think I'll go ahead and try and keep it because hopefully we top deck into a planeswalker or something. But yeah, I opted for a more like planeswalker heavy kind of brew here. We're going with the like Tamiyo. Tamiyo, I love Tamiyo because she's really good at controlling the board with a +1, and then if you can get that ultimate, you have like such a strong late game like card engine. It's ridiculous. We'll just keep ramping. Next to attackers, no attacks. There's no card to exile in the graveyard, so we can't get any oil counters. If you get 3 or more oil counters, it gets +3/+0. That is very lame. Thankfully, we top deck into another land, and this gives us a turn off to play Bankbuster. Opponent paired for aggro matchups, I guess. Do we just play this Tamiyo into like probably removal? What do they have? They might be playing the flash soldiers, so I might go ahead and just play Reckoner Bankbuster because they could flash in the soldiers and then Tamiyo's at risk. Nope, they didn't do anything. Are you just a removal deck? No, they aren't just a removal deck. Okay. But they're kind of a grindy Orzhov sweeper build, I guess. Nice thing about Planeswalkers, they're really good against sweepers. I had a game where opponent got out like turn 4 Portal, and then I only played my Planeswalkers and created creature tokens. I got 0 creatures on the board that could die and could be reanimated. In fact, the only creature I got out before they got the portal out, I ended up exiling with Tamiyo's takedown ability so that they couldn't even reanimate that. It was very funny. Yep, there you go. Removable.
My words fall on unwilling ears.
Knew that was coming to some degree. Alright, let's see if we can find something we can actually play. So I'd like to develop the board some. Alright, do that. Our opponent might have exile for removal for it, and even if they do have exile for removal for it, it's just gonna be that way sometimes. We could have swung in with the Bankbuster, but I think we're just gonna hold Bankbuster back here just for blocking sakes. Because this is 3 power. Anything with 3 power instantly is a pretty good card. Because you can crew Bankbuster. Opponent, did they have a pump spell? No, they just wanted to gain life. You know what? Fair enough. I guess so. Yep, your creature only had 2 power. Alright, in that case, we'll go ahead and draw with his Bankbuster. Farewell is a nasty, 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 gross card. We do not have any Farewells in this deck. We don't actually have any sweepers in this deck because we are believers in just doing better than our opponents. Alright, wish I could Fateful Absent my own creature. I don't have any, and I've been top decking lands. There's 25 lands in this deck, so it's not like we're running like a huge excess of lands. Yes, we have ways to find lands, but still. It's been quite unlucky. Dross Pits, fair enough. It's a good move. The other day I was watching a lore video on Phyrexia All Will Be One. And I came to understand the structure of the plane is like it's supposed to be in like these different spheres, like layers, if you will. Think of like an onion or like a jawbreaker or something. I don't know. So that's why there's like the different lands, and they have like the names of the different areas. So, like the Dross Pits, the area inside of Phyrexia, or like a layer. Opponent thinking about their chaplain, chapelgeist, or chapel shieldgeist. They got a lot of these in these disturbed cards, so they look like they're just a sweeper deck. Though they at least had one planeswalker removal for the one time we played planeswalker. And of course we top deck into not only a land, but a land that we can't even cycle, while also having two lands in our hand. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 lands. We have half our lands. So like 1/4 of our deck is lands at this point. Less than a fourth of our deck is probably lands because we have 41 cards. But technically I think there's like no, there's like 13 lands left in there, so but 13 lands out of 41 cards. Can we top deck into something? And if we top deck a land, can I at least be like one of these cycling ones? We have a full playset of Spara's Headquarters, and we have a full playset of Rafine's Tower. Our opponent thinking real hard about these Chapelin of Arms. We'll take our beads, because whatever, they're gonna sweep them eventually. Holy moly, we top deck into something playable. You don't have a counterspell in white, but you probably remove it. That's fine. That's fine. We're fine with that. We do actually have at least one basic of each type. We'll go grab a blue or a black. We'll grab black. I don't think we have many black lands. Or swamps, rather. Or black sources. We have the Rafine's Tower and like 3 swamps. Alright. Definitely want to take a planeswalker, whatever we do. Melira sounds pretty nice. I think this is the only instant we found. So this is our sorcery, this is our instant. We can choose up to 5, so we got a land to choose. We'll take the Stars Headquarters just in case we want to cycle it. Now it's the Planeswalker choice. Eternal Wanderer or Wandering Emperor. I think we'll pick up the Eternal Wanderer and see what we can do with it. Don't know if it's the best idea or the worst idea, but we'll go ahead and play Melira here, so if they go for a board wipe, we can resurrect our Atraxa. Let's see if they noticed. Not many people, I think, see Melira, so we might actually be able to get them here. I know that I had a really funny... Yep, they're gonna cleave. I had a really funny game against somebody who was playing Vraska. They turned Atraxa into a treasure, right? But in response to that, I exiled my Melira, so Atraxa became a treasure. It was their turn, so I immediately sacked the treasure and I got the Atraxa back. So it was really funny because you'd think like because it becomes a treasure, it would forget like the ability of Melira, but it doesn't. We'll go ahead and grab one of these Contagious Vorracs. Because they can actually go ahead and do some damage. We probably should have picked up like 1 or 2 cards less. They're like not the land, because now we're gonna discard stuff. Oh wait, no, that was their turn, so we don't actually have to discard anything. But Beautiful. Alright, Bankbuster. So actually, maybe we swing in here before we do anything. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe we play both of our planeswalkers here, I think. Sounds like a good idea. Play this planeswalker. Oh, actually what we can do is we can play both planeswalkers and then double proliferate with Expand the Sphere. Done. But I don't think we actually have enough mana, so maybe we go for Expand the Sphere into Vorrac. Ah man, we don't have enough mana to do all that. Alright, so we'll just take up normally. Submit 0. And then we'll just play the Eternal Wander and 0 it. We're playing... Okay, the reason we're playing these Planeswalkers here is because our opponent is probably holding another sweeper or removal, and so we need a good way to... That's not going to do anything. I mean, you can exile or Atraxa and get a copy of it. So that is actually going to do something. I take that back. They get Invoke Despair, another Kaya, Vanquish into Eternity for like one of our removals. They pick up the Graveyard Trespasser, right? Yeah, Invoke Despair, Graveyard Trespasser, Kaya, and Vanquish into Eternity. That's pretty good. You want to know what's better? Us getting rid of all of your stuff. How exactly are we going to do this? We're going to take down Eternal Wanderer, is the plan. And then we can tap down, like, the Missionary with Tamiyo. Or we could just Faithful Absence it. Maybe we just Faithful Absence it so we can get Tamiyo's ultimate here. I think that's worth. Because we can expand the sphere and then into Tamiyo. Boom, boom, dead. And then expand the sphere. Do we want to expand the sphere or we could do, yeah, expand the sphere. And then we just double decline. Well, we didn't find anything, so that works. And then we do this. Spells get to less to call or play. Boom. And then draw a card with this. This is the point where the deck's really like gassed. Alright. Do we play these Vorracs? Assuming that they have another sweeper. They'll make us sacrifice a planeswalker. We can just sacrifice Tamiyo. We're gonna have to sacrifice a creature, so maybe we play out both of these. Find ourselves a land, and then find ourselves a land, or proliferate. Either way works. We'll grab their Fiend's Tower so we can cycle it potentially. And then draw a card. Sounds good to me. That's a really cheap Atraxa, we'll take it. Please no farewell. Farewell and Invoke Despair on the same turn? That'd be gross. That's standard issue. Vorrac can die, or Vorrac can go, and then this one can also go. You get to draw a singular card and do 2 damage to us. They have Soul Transfer. Fair enough. We could Faithful Absence our own Planeswalker if we felt we're feeling particularly frisky, but I don't think it's worth. We're gonna go ahead and exile our stuff. That's not cool. The Vorrac for 1 damage. Honestly, I feel like you should get rid of our planeswalkers, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, that's gonna resolve regardless of what I do. Pass. We can't hit their Kaya with this Faithful Absence because one thing that Kaya has is Hexproof. We have this 4 discarded card. We don't mind doing that. We'll go ahead and discard the Swamp. Boom. Investigate. My turn. The question is, do we actually slam this Atraxa? I'm kind of worried about slamming Atraxa because they have that... We're just going to go in for damage here, I think. Like, sure, we could do a little bit of work, put like Atraxa down, but we're kind of winning on board. And when you're playing against these control like sweepery decks, you don't want to overcommit. That is like #1 mistake. Maybe we'll cycle one of these. Because if we find a planeswalker, we can go ahead and play that. Cycle. That's not a planeswalker. Where is my planeswalkers? Where is my super suit? Okay, we can flash that in. We do let it switch to night here by not playing anything. At the peril, we expected that. They pay that at full cost, so they can get rid of the Varric. That is a real strange move, considering that notebook there makes everything cheaper. Opponent here holding off their sweepers and their Kaya for as long as physically possible. Or they just haven't hit any of their sweepers, which is kind of strange. Kaya, proving to be a real powerhouse. Go ahead, draw a card. We don't really want to play out our like good card Atraxa here, honestly, into a known Kaya. Is a part of the problem. We should have flashed out an Emperor on their turn. That's a bit my bad. Alright, so we'll just hold Emperor. And then actually flash it out properly. So if we lose here, we did miss out on a little value by failing to flash our Wanderer out. We are down to 16 cards, so we do have a clock here. This was a bit expected. Artifacts and enchantments. Alright, let's go flash out Wanderer then. Just because I don't want to have to pay 4 mana to flash out my Wanderer. I'm feeling pretty cheap, you know. Alright, there we go. We get a 2/2. Opponent here still has their Kaya, which is really bothering me. Interestingly enough, they don't get rid of the graveyard. We still have enough mana to play out full cost Atraxa here. But I think we're just gonna hold steady. We really, 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 really don't want to see this Kaya going after our Atraxa. So, I'm not sure what else could really deal with this Atraxa very well. We don't have any, or deal with this Kaya very well. But if we play this out, they just tick it down for 3. It's only a -3? And it's a +2? Damn, Kaya is crazy. That's another card that I think you could just play a deck sort of like this one, where you just jam it in with just a bunch of like value cards. Like we have these planeswalkers, the bank busters, and get away with it. Right now we are not winning. I feel like we're actually just gonna lose this game, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it does feel very much like that. We should just tap this Armored Scrapgorger to get rid of their other Shield Ghost. But those have first strike. We can go ahead and do this, and then we'll tap this for white mana. Get rid of their Shield Ghost. Where are you, you little crap? Boom. Nothing to hit with that, unfortunately, and we're just gonna end our turn. Alright, Emperor versus Kaya. Which does better? Scry 1. Hell yeah. Don't mind if I do. That's not good enough. We need to tap down this Graveyard Trespasser. Our opponent uses the 0, which is strange. Okay, now we're in deep, deep water. Deep doo-doo. Yeah. I don't think we win. Okay, we have 2 Atraxas. This might actually be worth. Yeah, we'll play Atraxa. They get an Atraxa here, but I think ours is better. Ours is better. Ooh, backup Atraxa, number like 7. Free. We can get an enchantment for free. Sorcery for free. I guess this is the land we're getting. And then, wow, we hit a full 6. I think that's the maximum we can hit on in this deck. Um, Eternal Wanderer, yeah. A minute. Alright, we'll play the island. We can make our opponent sacrifice all their creatures besides a graveyard trespasser and then try and get in on their Kaya. We could get rid of our Atraxa until our end step. That's not quite what we need. What is the right move here? I think the right move is to maybe exile our own Atraxa, honestly, with this, and then swing in. Funny enough, or sacrifice our own Atraxa, because we really don't want them getting an Atraxa for free.
Try to verse me, if you can.
And then we'll just keep our soldier token.
My blade has no equal.
Oh, that doesn't require us to pay ward? That's shocking. We'll go do this. Play this. Play this. And then we swing in on their Kai. I don't know if this was troll or the right move, but it felt like the right move. We refilled our hand. We have double Atraxa in hand. The opponent is down to this Kaya. The problem is they have 25 cards left in library. We have 7. 7. Oy, 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 oy. We need to kill them with this Bank Buster, kind of. 10 loyalty! How you beat that card? That card's ridiculous. And you can start to see why I said this. This deck turns things into real grindy games. We're gonna actually decline this action, funny enough. We have like 6 cards, 7 cards left in library. Opponent, can you like draw your entire deck for us real quick? Because we're running out. Yep. Alright, Tamiyo. What can we do here? What is the right move? We could play Tamiyo, return nothing. We could return the Eternal Wanderer after casting Expand the Sphere. Expand the Sphere, then we create like a double striking 2/2. This is hard. So we play this, we can play Expand the Sphere to double proliferate it, and then tick down minus like 6 to get back a planeswalker or one of the planes. This is Kai is so freaking strong. What the heck? I think we're gonna go ahead and just do that. It might not be this like the sharpest or the best plan here. If we double proliferate though, we get Azusa's many journeys to flip, which is kind of nice. Done. Just these two. That sounds good to me. Flip this. And we go ahead minus 6 here. This is why I also like Tamiyo, is like sometimes you just pull out like weird tricky things like this. We get a token copy, we create a double striking 2/2. You have a removal spell. Our opponent here just gonna apparently go for our lands, that's fine. I think we've hit most of our basics, and if we do have any basics left, we don't really want to play them. Alright, end turn. Our opponent can exile one of our creatures with their... They can get their own likeness of the Seeker here.
I've done my research.
Yeah, I'll take a Sky one. Expand the Sphere, definitely not what we want to see here. I think this is one of the games where we just valued hard, but not hard enough. I don't think we win. Our opponent approaching our level of deck. We have 6 cards left, they have 18. So they're 3 times the amount of cards we do. So we'll transfer to get rid of our planeswalker, not good. That was going to be the source of our creatures. If we ever play an Atraxa here, they can get a 1/1 spirit copy of it and get its trigger, which we don't really want them to do. Though if we don't play Atraxa here, I think we're approaching dead. Our opponent just goes in for the swing-in. Are they aware that our double striking 2/2 kills them without it dying? Or no, it does die. Okay, we can just go ahead. We don't really need this Tamiyo here. It would be nice to... Hey, that is exactly what I was thinking of. Because we can go ahead and deal 6 plus 3 damage, so we can completely obliterate their Kaya here, basically. Because what we'll go ahead and do, we'll go ahead and all attack. Bam. Put a +1 on this. Double striking with +1/+1 does 3. Boom, boom, boom. Almost got the Kaya. Now we can play Atraxa without worrying too much, assuming that they don't have another stupid one of those in their hand. Do we want to pick anything up from our deck? I think we're good. I think we're good. Alright, we're gonna have to win the old-fashioned way. Now, real quick. We got their Kaya out of the picture to some degree. Do they have removal for Atraxa? If they have removal for Atraxa, we're probably just done. They have everything removal, that's fine. What the heck? How is that a good idea, but alright. Your Kaya's almost dead. Vote Despair, we lose that, that's fine. Because we have... well, how many of their Path to Peril have they played? 1, 2, 3, 4. So they played all their Path to Peril, so they can get back a Shield Treat here? No, they get back that. Interesting. Funny thing is, I don't care too much, but they probably have actual removal for this Atraxa, so we might be done here. Don't really need any of those. Play Vorrac. They don't have any more of their Path to Perils. They're one sweeper in the deck. We're not going to proliferate you, Kaya. Believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of you. They just keep ticking out by 1. They're gonna... they're probably not gonna deck themselves before us. Azusa, we don't really need... You know what? The life gain might be nice. We'll play. We'll keep it on top. At this point, whatever we draw is not gonna help us. Rogue Despair, sack a creature. Alright. Fair enough. I get to do 1 more damage with this. How many Vogue Despairs? Bro, I fucking hate control. This is... Mono black is absolutely the worst thing to play into. I swear to God, with these freaking Invoke Despairs, it's just Invoke Despair, Invoke Despair, Invoke Despair. You take 6 damage, they draw 3 cards, or you lose your entire board. One of the combination of those. Farewell. Basically, if I have a Planeswalker on board, I win the game. Oh my God. They're playing the most annoying cards in the entire freaking game. Let's not play the game cards. Let's just sweeper the board. Ah, yeah. Fucking painful quandary. Whatever. You win! You're able to play the more boring game. I fucking hate Invoke Despair. Ah, yeah. That is so annoying. Alright, let's see if we can actually win another one. Ay, ay, ay. That's so upsetting. We were doing so good, but just Kaya takedown steals your freaking Atraxa, and then it's also hexproof, and then you just play a bunch of sweepers with your freaking little Kaya, and then you just win the game. Ah, I hate really grindy games, like super grindy games. Grindy games where you just sweeper, like, we don't have any sweepers in this deck. Yeah, this deck is grindy. Actually, that's a lie. We have the one sweeper with Eternal Wanderer, but it's like a pseudo sweeper. I don't know. It's just that's so annoying to play into. It's the same thing with like Damir Control or anything like that. It's or Azorius Control. It's just like, oh, sweeper. If you want to develop the board to the point where you can kill my planeswalkers, good luck. And it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do then? Just lose? Is that like the strat? Or is he gonna take the beats? Fortunately, we do not have enough mana to Eternal Wanderer sweep the board, so we're gonna have to go ahead and expand the sphere, grab our Rafine's Tower, and maybe another Rafine's Tower, honestly. Get rid of the tap lands. No attacks. Hopefully our opponent doesn't play any more enchantment creatures so that we can select a Spirited Companion and they don't get their Kamiya Transients back. We will take that for right now. Please. Gosh darn it, I forgot Jukai Naturalist is an enchantment creature as well. Oh, we'll be seeing a lot of this Kami of Transients. Oh, sure. Sure, just one-shot us. $14 damage. Actually, we'll block the Varric, or Vork. Because we will just keep the lightness of the Seeker when we play this. You get to keep your Spirited Companion. Happy?
I've made adjustments to make.
Are you happy?
Room.
No attacks. Play a little defense. They get their Kami Transients back. Is that a glitch in the game? There's a little white line. That's fun. Hmm. Yeah, but the games with this deck turn out to be very long, so maybe it's not the best to climb with, but it's very strong. The one upside. Quite strong deck. So, you can do a decent job winning, but it might take forever. I mean, I guess that's their proper move. Take the lesser important thing under their borrowed time so that when we blow up their borrowed time, it's less important. Right? It's less impactful. No, we wouldn't have had enough mana to play Eternal Wanderer if I played out this differently. We get a Machika's Reign of Truth. Kamiya Transience is going to become a 10/10. And we're going to die. Oh no, they just played it on. Fair enough. Ah, all the fun cards. Man. I remember why enchantments were so, like, crazy strong. Because you have, like, recursion with Catilda and Kamiya Transience, you have removal, you have discounts, you have, like, buff spell with Machiko that turns into a creature, you have card draw with the Spirited Companion. Oh my goodness. The problem is here, if we blow up the board and we get rid of their Catilda, they put the Catilda in the backside of Catilda, right? The enchantment onto one of their creatures and they blast our face. So honestly, we almost just need them to keep their Catilda.
Clean up this mess.
Though if we do that, man, we're just dead. We're literally dead no matter what we do. I think in order to keep us alive, we have to go and keep our Scrapgorger and then keep their Catilda. And just hope that they can't play out like 2 enchantments this turn. Because yeah, they could go for a Wanderer, but they could also just murder us. Hopefully they don't draw into a borrowed time so that if we are able to do a top deck at Atraxa, we can actually get back into this game. 3 damage to the face. Oh, those are spirits? Why are they... They're spirits. It's so annoying. This gets like a buff for the number of spirits and enchantments you control. That is... Ay, 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 ay. There's no good answer here, is there? If we're able to draw one more, would we be able to play Atraxa? We would be able to, but we need to crew our Bank Buster, which we can crew, and then we can blink it, and then we can draw a card, and then we can hope to play Atraxa. I think this is our real, like, only feasible strategy here. Oh wait, we blink it at the end of our turn. It comes back at the end of our turn, so I'm just stupid. Create a 2/2 double striker. We learn of the 3rd path there. Borrowed time. Just hopefully get some value in the near future. And then we go ahead. We could have Fateful Absence one of our creatures, but that wouldn't have given us enough mana. And turn, we tap down our 1/1, which is really good. Commune with spirits, they find a borrowed time, remove our entire board. Or they draw into another card draw spell. That also buffs their creatures. I'm having a good time. Can we even survive? I think we have a chance of surviving here. But they're only going to attack him with their Catilda. Vorrac. Okay. Draw a card. Do it. Alright, if we play this Bank Burroster and draw, we have 10 lands, a treasure, and a Scrapgorger, so I think that's... We can do this. We can get away with trying to find an Atraxa here. Not an Atraxa, okay? We're both going to draw a card, I think, this time, opponent. I'm feeling generous. Feeling... Like, can we draw into anything? Is that like an option? Oh my god. We can play this. We need to survive a turn, but that is impossible. Well, I think what we'll go ahead and do is we can blink Lorna the 3rd path as like another blocker, but they have trample. Let's see. Was blinking Lorna the 3rd path a good idea? Probably. Probably, but we're just dead in the air, aren't we? Because they get like a buff Kami training, so it becomes a 4/4, and then it gets +3, actually +4, +4, and flying and lifelink. So there is nothing we can do here, I don't think. So we'll just blow something up. Uh, were we on the play or on defense? Or on the draw? I think we were on the draw. Maybe I'm wrong. Yep, we drew the Atraxa like a card too late. Yep, Cantilda, that stupid little spirit goblin. Ay, ay, ay. I love spirits. I love. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Just kill me. Make it end. Let's see. Let's see if we can lose more. Because that's all I ever do whenever I turn on freaking like recording. It's like, oh no, this time you're gonna draw just not so good, and your opponent's gonna have a really nice curve. That's what it feels like. I have like a 66% win rate, and then I go to play it, and then I go on like a 3-game losing streak in the video, and it's like, okay, I guess this deck is trash. I was wrong. I don't know. I am losing it. This is Azusa's mini journey, taking our opponent probably playing Golgari fight with their little big what is it called? Phyrexian Obliterator. We have the double oh wait, these are Eternal Wanderers. I thought we had one of each kind. That's upsetting. Yeah, we'll gain some life. We'll just play Expand the Sphere. Look for lands. We find one land. We get to proliferate this. So that's not the end of the world. Still really annoying that I've whiffed on that. You know, every single time I've played Expand the Sphere, I found like 2 lands. It's like, now today I keep finding like 1 land. It's strange. Opponent immediately goes for the throat. I can't believe that we didn't hit 2 lands with that. Like, what are the odds? I'd love to know. I'm too lazy to do the math, though. Our opponent going for Blast Zone on 2. Interesting strategy. In that case, I guess we'll hold on to this Melira. We have enough mana to cast Atraxa if we find it. What? Opponent playing Removal Tribal. It's fine because they probably will just play a Kaya and then win. Oh yeah, I'm still butthurt about that game. It's because we're not go wide deck. We're not an aggro deck. We play like 1 creature, so we got like entirely countered by Kaya. Because Kaya can take your best creature and turn it into nothing for essentially nothing. Alright, show me your Planeswalker removal for 2. I don't think there's any Planeswalker removal for 2, but there is Murder or something. That is like 2 black and 1 colorless. Or like there should be like a 2 black, 1 colorless. Kill spell in black for Planeswalkers. There is, I'm talking about instant speed. Of course, there is Soul Transfer, which exiles creature or Planeswalker, but that's sorcery. You can also return target creature or Planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. Good game. Opponent, consider putting some ramp in your deck. For more card draw, you have like 3 lands. If you can't do anything on 3 lands, that's impressive. I will say that. We'll try and make this as quick and painless as possible. I wonder if they're baiting me into some kind of sweeper. So, we can just play Atraxa here, I think, regardless. Now we'll play Atraxa and then we can blink it on our next turn. If they don't have anything, they die. It's basically also the other option. Okay, so now what we can do is, well, we actually don't have any answer to that in our hand. Yeah, we'll go ahead and draw. Wait. Oh wait, no, we can just kill them. It's fine. Bye bye, Shieldred. See you next time. Smelly.
You're coming with me.
Boom. Get rid of it. Swing in. Woo, we did a little and Eternal Wanderer action here. Got a kill in 4 minutes because our opponent did nothing. I would play another game, but we're already at 55 minutes, and I don't want to make this video too long. But let's go over the deck real quick. Hop into the deck tech. So the deck is, I was tempted to call it like Atraxa Fair or Fair Atraxa, because really we're playing Contagious Vorrac, we're playing Armored Scrapgorger, Azusa's many journeys, and expand the sphere to ramp into Atraxa, play it, catch back up with the amazing card draw and stats that Atraxa has, and then if we can play Eternal Wanderer, sweep the board, keep only Atraxa. The alternative plan, or like the alternatives, is we also have Tamiyo here to keep us going in the mid game. We can tap down like their big threat because usually opponents aren't going super wide. Um, I wouldn't say like tokens are like super meta, so I think this is not the end of the world. But like Tamiyo, you tap down their biggest creature, you have like a Varric down there, and Tamiyo, you can stop like 2 creatures there for a couple of turns, then you get Tamiyo's ultimate, which is crazy good because it makes everything cheaper. Your Bank Buster is free, your Varrics are 1 mana, your Expand the Spheres are 2, your Wandering Emperor is 2 mana, your like Atrax is 4 mana, or 5 mana rather. So it's really nice, and then you can keep drawing cards to really keep up with the opponent, or just overload or overwhelm the opponent in value. Besides that, we'll go through the cards one by one. We have Fateful Absence. This is an instant speed, destroy target creature or planeswalker its controller investigates. The reason I'm playing this over Go for the Throat or something like that is because, well, it's 2 mana, it can hit creatures and planeswalkers, and then it's instant speed, and it's white. We kind of leaned into Bant colors here. The only source that we actually use the Swamps here, or the black mana, is for Atraxa. We can also get any color mana from our Armored Scrapgorger here because it adds mana of any color. So that's why we were using Fateful Absence here. We're playing a pretty like fair and not too greedy mana base, I would say. Like instead of playing a bunch of these like triomes that come in tapped, we're trying to instead play a little bit more tempo-y in the sense that we're getting in untapped lands or getting enough untapped lands in our hand that we can actually cast Azusa's Mighty Journey on turn 2, and then we should hopefully cast this on turn 3, and then we can cast this on turn 4, and then next turn we can maybe cast Atraxa. Or we can just cast Eternal Wanderer, sweep the board, keep our Varric, keep up the pressure. So Armored Scrapgorger, we already talked about this card. It's an 0/3, so it's a really good defender, or it's decent defender. Still gets bolted or lightning strike, which is annoying. But it's ramp, and then it can exile cards from graveyards, which can be nice. We saw it come a little bit in handy there when we exiled like the Chapelgeist or whatever. I've played into like Reanimator decks, and this can be a little bit helpful. The problem is like if they discard and then reanimate the same turn, say they have a Fable already on board and then they discard to the Fable and then they reanimate the same turn, you kind of need this untapped. So if they have a bunch of things that they're throwing into the graveyard all at the same time, it can be hard to take advantage of that, but at least it turns into a 3/3, so it's not the end of the world by the end of the game. So I don't know, it's just it's a decent ramp creature. It's also an uncommon, whereas Llanowar Loam Speaker is a rare, so I guess it's more budget friendly. Azusa's Many Journeys, really nice for the whole ramp plan. Getting more lands, gaining life is nice because, well, if you're ramping, you're probably going to be taking a beat or 2 in your first 2 or 3 turns. And then it flips into a 3/3, which is really nice because it can crew Bankbuster, or it can just be a 3/3, which is nice. And then we have Melira. Melira, we got to actually see it there being relevant when our opponent went to sweep the board. We were able to use the second ability of Melira, where you exile Melira, and then you choose another targeted creature or artifact, and when it's put into the graveyard that turn, you return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Works really well with Atraxa because you get the ETB again. So that's kind of why we're playing it. It's also just anti-poison technology, right? If your opponent's playing a poison deck and they can only poison you once each turn, you got like 10 turns at least to find an answer to the board, while also just not die. So that's cool. Bankbuster, just one of actually the most played card in all of Standard. Just really good value because you can draw cards, which we're playing a pretty slow deck here, so this works really well. We'll have like open mana sometimes. We'll want to like hold up like a Wandering Emperor maybe, and then we can instead Bankbuster if we really need to hold the Wandering Emperor. I don't know, but yeah, Bankbuster, its value makes sense. Lord of the Third Path, another one of the most played cards in Standard. Funny enough, because well, it's artifact enchantment removal on a stick. So that's really the reason we're playing it. We're not really playing it for much else. It's a body, and it does remove artifacts enchantments. Because we were kind of weak to enchantments and artifacts to some degree, so having something, at least one thing in our entire deck that can deal with it is really nice, especially because maybe we can get it back with Tamiyo, so especially since it's a permanent, we can get it back with Tamiyo, which is kind of cool. Contagious Vorrac. This was in Croaky's brew, and I really like this card. It reminds me of the Snow Bear from Kaldheim, where you tutor up a snowland. This does basically the exact same thing, but you also have the option to proliferate, and we're playing a ton of planeswalkers. We're taking advantage of the proliferate effects on these two cards. So this helps us find our land drops to actually ramp, and then late game, if we don't really need the land drop, we can deny it, and we can help us get to our ultimates or get to the loyalty that we need to do specific things. Same thing with Expand the Sphere. Look at the top 6 cards of your land, or top 6 cards of your library. Put 2 lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped, and put the rest of them on the bottom of your library in random order. If there are 2 or fewer lands, or if 2 or fewer lands are put onto the battlefield, this way proliferate number of times equal to the difference. So this can help us double proliferate to immediately ultimate Tamiyo, because we really love Tamiyo's ultimate. Tamiyo's ultimate just makes playing the game a lot easier, and Tamiyo's +1 becomes a lot less relevant the later the game goes. Tamiyo is kind of like around there for the early game to provide the +1, and then her +1 becomes pretty useless towards the end of it, I would say. Almost. Her ability to create the notebook is like most important, and then her recursion from the graveyard can be handy. Wandering Emperor, another one of the most played cards in Standard, right? Just a really good planeswalker because he can exile anything. So this is like our 6 removal spells, if you will. The 2 last removal spells. We only are playing 2 of them because they're again legendary, right? And then we can flash it in, exile stuff, create the tokens, they're nice. And then we can put +1 counters on like Atraxa or whatever. So that's cool. Tamiyo, I feel like we've already covered it. Nice that can come down in 4 mana or 5 mana. So that's one upside that I haven't already said. Eternal Wanderer can provide a ton of value in this deck, because we can blink Atraxa. So if we're really out of options, we can just blink Atraxa. Atraxa comes in at the end of our turn. We get Atraxa's ETB again. We can go ahead and draw a bunch more cards. Pretty crazy. You often don't get to do this because Atraxa is like the thing for the opponent to remove every single time. That is a bit of a problem with this deck, is we're playing a sort of like stupid brew in the sense that we don't have any protection for Atraxa, and we kind of need Atraxa to stick around sometimes for us to gain life. So maybe you could consider like one of the things doing with this deck is maybe like, I don't know, cut down like or remove 1 or 2 like cards here and there, and then play like 2 Tamiyo safekeeping or like some Tamiyo safekeepings, just so that way you have a way to protect your Atraxa from removal. Especially with this deck, you're gonna have a ton of land, so if you can get Atraxa out there, you might still have 1 or 2 sources open. So it makes sense. And then Atraxa, the value stick, the Titan of Industry of 2023. An amazing card. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I hope you have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, whenever and wherever you're watching. Ciao.